Guys, it's that time again. It's December. It's our favorite. It's everybody's favorite, of our episodes, every year.
Yes, this is the most watched, most listened episode because people are so curious about FTB in general.
Yeah.
And this is our Heroes of FTB. Thomas, it's your first time.
It is.
Welcome.
I haven't been. Actually, I think I might have sat in on part of one where everybody got to ask me a question one year.
Oh, yeah. That's right.
Right, which was fun. It's always fun to hear what's on someone's mind that they might ask. I don't know if they're asking me or my office. You're never quite sure.
Good point. Yeah, it depends which hat you're wearing that day. Right.
Well, it also depends on how people see you. One of the things that's interesting about this episode is we get to see our teammates from a different light.
Definitely.
Some people see a person as a person. Some people see a person as a job function. I think the goal of this is to hopefully, bring some people back into the job function and tie the job function to the people.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
That's the goal every year, and everybody loves it.
Right. It's the people that make this place work. They really are the hearts and hands, behind the mission, you know?
Yeah. And I'm so excited, too, because we have some, new team members that I'm excited to learn more about.
Yeah.
We've all been just so incredibly busy. It's hard sometimes to connect to someone personally, and there are some really amazing folks in this world of ours.
Yeah, and we're going to learn things about them that you never would have thought, what are their opinions on whether a hot dog is a sandwich?
Oh,
That's an important thing to ask when you meet a person for the first time, because it's going to determine a lot about your friendship.
Well, we do at our quarterly team get-togethers. Once a quarter, we all kind of disconnect from our jobs and get together and talk about our work. When we greet newcomers, we ask them what their favorite food is. Right? It's interesting. Everybody always has a favorite food. And for the listener, as you obviously hear our guests, we always ask you if you have around a table, right? We ask you who you want at your table, but we also ask you what food is it you would want. And I think that always interests me what people want to eat, whether it is a recipe that their family has had for years, whether it's a moment in time that a meal mattered to them.
or who cooked it.
Yeah.
Who cooked it for them. So it's always interesting. So I'll be interested to see what our team members have to say about the hot dog.
So, Thomas?
I'm kind of on the fence about it. I said earlier when we were talking about this, there are only two answers to the question, but I'm kind of on the fence.
Really?
Yeah. But I would have to move it into the non-sandwich category probably if I had to make a decision. It's not a sandwich.
What's bringing that down for you?
Yeah.
And now I'm a huge lover of hot dogs.
Okay.
Huge. And one of the best parts of going to any sort of baseball game is the hot dog experience.
Yeah.
There's no doubt about that. Especially a good grilled dog. Oh, man. But it doesn't feel like a sandwich to me.
Yeah.
It's really more of a feeling. There's no, right? It's meat between bread, which is the very definition of a sandwich.
Yeah. I almost wonder if, maybe getting into my answer, I wonder if the fact that it's I was going to say that it's a bun, because you can put burgers on buns and burgers might be sandwich. This is a way more complex question than we signed up for, than we realized that it was going to be.
Well, I'm going with 50 Cent, and you can Google him. A hot dog is a hot dog. It is not a sandwich.
Oh. Is this like the square rectangle thing? Like a square can be a rectangle, but not vice versa. Like a sandwich can be a hot dog, but a hot dog can't be a sandwich.
I just think just a hot dog is a hot dog. It doesn't. It has its own lane, and
it's
either
meat
you
between
love
a bun.
them.
It's meat between bread.
Either you love them, and they're nostalgic, or you're like me, and it's like a mood thing. Maybe once a decade.
Yeah.
Oh, you're not a hot dog person?
Not really.
Oh man.
That's how I got through college. It's like 50 packs of hot dogs.
I do remember as a young man boiling a lot of hot dogs and eating a lot of boiled corn.
For sure. Yeah, really good for you.
Didn't know how to cook.
No.
Boiled corn and hot dog.
All in the same pot, or were these two separate pots?
It probably depends. At the time, I may have only had one pot.
That's fair.
This is back when I had the phone that didn't ring.
That's right.
So the only way I like a hot dog is a bowling alley hot dog. You know how to make a bowling alley hot dog? So you heat up a frying pan or a skillet very hot, and you just roll it back and forth and brown it so it's even. Like, I don't like the dirty grill marks on a hot dog.
Oh, I love that. That's part of the extreme grill. Now, I won't eat a dishwater dog. If you're on the corner of New York City and there's hot dogs, you don't ever eat the dishwater dog.
They're spicy.
No.
Well, they're boiled.
They're just floating in
Yeah.
misty water. We're going to go with that. Okay. Well, let's see. We're going to see what everybody else thinks. And I know you guys are going to absolutely enjoy meeting all of these people.
For sure.
Mustard or ketchup on your hot dog?
Oh,
Ketchup
wow.
only.
We're still in hot
Oh,
dogs.
man, that's wrong.
I know. I don't do relish or mustard or any of the dressings, just ketchup.
So
How
if I
can you
do
put
eat
ketchup on a hot dog?
Slowly, carefully. You don't want the
It's
whole bottle to
wrong.
explode.
It's not. They're not the right combination of flavors.
Yeah.
it, mustard and sauerkraut.
Sauerkraut.
No sauerkraut.
Oh, that's that's
Mustard
top shelf.
mustard and relish.
That's it.
Ooh, relish is good. But
So you're marrying the saltyish taste of the dog, the spicy taste of the mustard, a good spicy mustard, and the sweet of the relish.
So you're assuming that I have standards. I don't.
Clearly not
This
when
is
it comes to
high-level
hot
hot
dogs.
dogs.
Yeah.
Okay, you guys, clearly these boys cannot get their mind off
That's
of
true.
hot dogs, but you're going to love this episode, the very first one of Heroes of FTB. Ooh, next up, I'm kind of excited. New guy in town.
Yeah.
New guy in town. Dan. Dan is the man. Welcome to Stick a Fork in It, my friend.
Thank you. Long-time listener.
Yeah.
Excited to be here.
First time caller.
First-time caller, yeah.
Always happy
Dan,
to
do
hear
you have a
that.
last name that you go by, or are you just known by your own? It's like Cher and Madonna.
I think it's Dan the Man.
Yes.
Man.
Yeah.
I thought that was like a middle name.
Dan
for
the
you.
man.
I was at an event the other night, and Titus O'Neil was introduced, and he's introduced as Titus O'Neil, WWE superstar.
Oh.
Right? That's how he's introduced. I was suggesting that perhaps I should be introduced as Thomas Mann's Food Bank superstar in the future.
We'll have
What do
to
you
vote
think?
on that probably, I
Yeah.
think. Yeah. Put it up for a vote.
There's less enthusiasm. But Dan, nice to see you.
Nice to see you.
We're glad you're here.
Thank you.
Yeah.
You've been working exceptionally hard. But first, we have a question for you. Kind of a little icebreaker. Thomas, go for it.
I didn't know I was doing this part. Hot dog.
Oh,
All right. Is it a sandwich or not?
We're tackling the big questions.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes.
I'm glad to see
Philosophical.
that. I think it depends on your definition of a sandwich, which is my cop-out answer and my real answer.
I was gonna
No, it
say.
is not a sandwich.
I was going to say, this
No, it
is
is not a
You're
sandwich.
not running
There
for
he is.
political office.
not a
Okay,
sandwich.
tell us your justification. We would point out that there's meat between bread.
On a technicality, it is a sandwich, but in the world, in society, I don't think it would be classified as a sandwich.
You seem
Hot
to have
dog.
very strong opinions, but appalling lack of justification for your opinion.
Well,
Do you like hot dogs?
I do. Yeah.
And
What do you like on the hot dog?
Oh, everything. Cheese,
Oh.
chili.
Oh, like a Chicago chili
so
dog
this is
with all
why
the-
you think this.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
a meal. In and
Yeah.
of itself, you could just have a hot dog.
I could. And I wouldn't say that I,
I
had a
kind of
sandwich
get it with
for
this
lunch.
one then.
That's
Yeah.
fair.
I wouldn't say I had a sandwich for lunch after I had a hot dog. I'd say I had a hot dog for lunch.
Okay. Okay.
Well, that concludes our interview.
All right.
Yeah.
this was fun.
Thanks for coming in.
I appreciate it. Yeah,
Tell Mom we said hi.
I will.
So, my friend, what brought you to FTB?
Well, I found myself wanting to make a career change. I spent 10 years in the education space and wanted something a little bit different. In my college years, I worked with a backpack program in Gainesville, shout out Food for Kids, and really just kind of connected with the mission there. Spent a year doing AmeriCorps Vista. Nice. You can always spot another AmeriCorps
Yeah, you can always
Vista.
feel it.
Right?
And just really wanted to kind of help address some of the more fundamental needs that people have, and saw this as a great way to do that.
So, how's that been going for you?
Great. It's been going great.
You've been really busy.
So let's dive in a little deeper here. So you go to college, and what is your degree in?
I have a degree in statistics and political science.
Whoa.
So probably a little smarter than the rest of us.
I was going to say.
Some daunting.
So we'll just skip over that. But you obviously feel a call to a life of some degree of service. What's behind that? How does that start in you? Where does that come from? Is that a familial, thing?
Yeah.
Is it something that a moment that happened in your life? What drove that for you?
It's definitely a familial thing. My mom had a huge influence on me growing up. She taught me how to treat other people, how to look out for other people, and she kind of helped guide me toward this life of service that I've.
Did she do this herself?
No, she was a teacher for many years.
Oh, she
Okay,
did.
so she did.
That and more.
She did.
That and
but
more.
she retired a couple years ago now. So.
Yeah.
did it her whole career.
And so did you ever contemplate something else, or was this always the path for you?
When I was in college, a lot of statistics majors would go on to be an actuary or an accountant or something like that, and that just didn't really speak to me. I liked the math component of it, but wanted to do something a little bit different. And I remember going to career fairs and walking around and talking to people and just never really found anything that spoke to me until I talked to somebody in AmeriCorps and found that I really wanted to give something back after
Where did you serve for AmeriCorps?
I served in Gainesville, so I worked at the university helping to connect college students with elementary, middle, and high school students that needed mentors.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah, it's funny. Whenever I think of AmeriCorps, I always think of the idea that you went to Cambodia and
Right, yeah. Like a Peace Corps.
Not so
Yeah, I was
much.
going to say that's Peace Corps.
Well, we have probably and have had over the years. We probably had a half a dozen folks that have come to us on AmeriCorps Vista programs where they helped us get something started, and then they ended up staying with us.
Yeah. Hello, Ev.
Yeah, I know. Yeah.
Vanessa before
Vanessa,
you.
Yeah.
Whitney,
Right?
Kate.
Yeah, so we've had several that have come. Yeah, it's always been it's been a good way for us to surface folks that want to do something in the space and kind of figure out if it's for them. And then once they find out it is and they're here, we work hard to keep them.
Happy to be here.
And
Glad I
they
could
don't
stay.
want to. They don't want to leave us.
Yeah, that's
right?
true, too.
'Cause
I can
the
understand
the
that.
mission is strong, right?
Absolutely.
You can. You can. So how long have you been with us?
I have been here for about 8 months.
So I'm going to go back to the other. I'm not going to quite let go of all this yet.
Okay.
Tell us about statistics.
Right?
Man, talk about a concept beyond understanding batting averages.
Right, yeah.
You know, I think the first 2 tests I had in a statistics class, I got an A. The rest of them, if I got a D+, I'd be surprised.
Good enough.
So you made a career change. I know this because we talked a lot about before you came here, and you and I had a chance to discuss some of the things you were thinking about. And you served in a very worthy and important organization, right? Doing the work that they did. But you said something that was interesting in your outline of why you switched careers. You felt a need to be back in front of mission more personally. What drives that for you? It's not like you weren't doing good work. It's not like you weren't doing important work. What's the thing in you that said, I really need to be closer to... Years ago, we had a colleague, Matt, and Matt was talking about coming from the Community Foundation to work for us. And I remember asking him why, and he said, well, I was a pitcher. I want the ball in my hand. Right, and I've always thought of that as an interesting
Matt
answer.
always had the good, right?
Matt wasn't that great, but what was inside of you to say there's a time for me to go do something different?
Well, if I can use a baseball metaphor, I won't know.
I wanted the ball.
I wanted the ball in my hand. I think for me, it was really rewarding to work with people that were doing the work directly with our students at the time, and helping them to kind of realize their own greatness. For me, I just wanted to get that stronger connection to mission. I wanted to see the people directly that we're impacting. I wanted to be a part of their lives, build relationships with them, because I am a very people-focused person. I love that side of service. That's what drew me in the first place. And so seeing this opportunity to work with our food programs was kind of a no-brainer for me to get that reconnection with mission and explore an entirely new industry to me.
And man, have you gotten a nose full of that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
He definitely. I think we've all had our baptized by fire moment in feeding Tampa Bay.
Yeah. So
But it's so rewarding, though. It's exhausting.
Yeah.
But so, tell us more details about what your role is. But also, I would love to know, because you're talking about how you connect, right? Tell us your role, and then a connection story for you that helped keep you going through the government shutdown, which has been very hectic in your world.
Yeah, absolutely. So I work with our neighbor food programs, which is our direct to neighbor services that we provide. So I work with the bistro, with the market, with the Trinity Cafe, feeding Pinellas, our now lockers at Sulphur Springs. Find that work to be incredibly rewarding, working with a team that just is a rock star group of folks that are really connected not only to the mission, but they're highly skilled at what they do, and really keep me motivated every day to be at my best. So appreciate that. There's so many neighbor stories that that I can share. One in particular is a regular that we had coming into the bistro, who I am now affectionately referred to as her grandson. No official relation, but
Yes.
she just brings a spirit. She was bringing people to the bistro, inviting other folks, connecting them to services, really became a really strong ambassador for the work that we were doing here at Causeway. And every time I see her, just a big old hug and a nice greeting. So I'll make sure to send this to her as well, so she knows she got a shout out.
Aw, I love that. The bistro has actually, over the year that we've been here and that's been going on, it's become like a hub for a lot of people.
Yeah, it has.
A lot of, especially on our Mondays, which are senior days, and they actually meet there for lunch and schedule their shopping appointments around each other. It's really become an unexpected, beautiful thing.
It has.
More than a meal.
It is more than a meal, and that is, I think, the culture we try to create. Melinda's done a great job connecting with folks, bringing people in, helping to connect them to the neighbor services side as well. We see people coming in on a very consistent basis and just doing everything we can to connect with them and help them feel welcome and realize, you may be in a tough situation right now where you need a little bit of additional support, but we're going to treat you like family every time you walk in the door.
Yeah. Welcome with a smile.
So I guess it certainly begs the question for us. So and again, you're 8 months in, and what we hope is a very, very long career in our work and in our organization. So what's your observation 8 months in after having traded a distance between you and direct mission and now being on the front lines of mission? What, aside from holy cow, I'm tired, what observations do you have about it? What has struck you? You're a thoughtful person by nature, right? And so what has kind of, Shannon asked a very specific question about a neighbor and a story, but I would ask a more general question. What has landed on you about all of this? What is it you tend to find yourself thinking about?
I think for me, it's been getting an understanding of what food banking truly is. And I think the scale and the quality at which we do this here is truly breathtaking. That's been my biggest takeaway, is I learn something new every single day about just general operations or how things are set up. But what is consistent through all of that is just putting the neighbor at the center of everything we do here. And for me, that's the whole reason why I came here, was to build that connection.
It's interesting. I had this conversation the other day. We have, for the listener, we have 400 different agency partners to whom we provide food. We do some of our own direct distribution, which you oversee. But it's interesting. We were having a conversation about agencies, and agencies are an important part of our work. But at the end of the day, we're here for the neighbor.
Yeah.
The agency is a partner that helps us get to the neighbor. And I think one of the things that's been so important to us is to shift ours. One of our colleagues used to say, the neighbor needs to be the hero of our story, right? That they're the ones. During this shutdown, I've been asked many times, or been thanked many times, as probably each of the four of us have, if they see a brand on our shirt, boy, you guys you're just great. And I think I do, and I think we should take pains to say we're not the hero.
Yeah.
If you look at the circumstances of the folks you're serving every single day, most of us would buckle under the weight of that
absolutely
emotional, mental, and physical pressure. And I just wonder for you, I'm often filled with awe, wonder, and gratitude for those we served. I'm often filled with shock and horror that they're in our care.
Yeah. I think especially with the government shutdown, seeing people come in military uniforms and seeing people come in who would never ordinarily interact with us, except maybe as a volunteer or as a donor, has been really humbling too, to realize we're all just a couple steps away from needing some help in life, and making sure that those folks who are experiencing this maybe for the first time in their lives are able to come in, be treated warmly, and tell their friends that this is a safe place for them to be.
Yeah, and I think that as we often see it, it's a privilege to serve the folks that come into our care. It's not an obligation or responsibility; it's a privilege.
Absolutely,
which is a far different. So you're here 8 months. I assume you have things you want to change and make better. So, kidding aside, what is it you start to think about as you look out over the horizon? What's on your mind? Again, I know you're still trying to figure out what's what, and we understand that. But again, as evidenced by your advanced degree that none of us have, you obviously think about things. What is it you're thinking about as you start to move forward and look forward? What's on your mind about the future of what you do and how we do it?
Yeah. So, initially it's just been getting a sense of where things are, where the stapler is, where everything is. For me, it's clear that we are on a path of incredible growth. And I want to make sure that growth is managed well and is not at the expense of quality or at the expense of our neighbor experience. And so, I was listening to the podcast a couple months ago, and Brian Green was on, and he talked about food scholarships. And that just kind of sparked something in me. Like that 18 to 24-year-old range is such a critical time. They're leaving school often for the first time. They're going off into the world, finding out things may not be what they thought they would be. And so what are we doing to support specifically that demographic? So would like to see maybe some more specific targeted programming. Swell does an amazing job of connecting seniors with services, with food. What are some other demographics that we can look at to specifically target with tailored services?
When I think when we're at our best as an organization, we put someone in a position where their imagination gets fired.
Yeah.
Right? Where they start to say, oh, we could do this differently, or we could think about things in this way, in this shape and form. I think it's always fun to be a part of a colleague's journey through their time with us, right? As they come in, and as you have been over the last 8 months, like, holy cow, I just want to stay alive. But then you start to see imagination fired, and somebody says, oh.
It'd be great if we did.
Yeah.
Wouldn't it be cool if we?
Yeah.
And then damn
that.
if they don't do it.
Yeah.
That's one of the things about this job that's been so incredibly refreshing. Coming from education, there's a lot of guide rails in education. You eat lunch at 11:32 every single day, and you've got a very rigid schedule. So being here has been very freeing in the sense that not only is there a lot more time, but there's a lot less red tape. There's a lot less. We're here to feed people, and we get to do it in so many different and unique ways. That's very rewarding.
It is. I think our goal is to build a culture where everybody thrives. We talk about this as our vision as flourishing communities today and for generations to come. And one of the most important communities to us is our community of colleagues.
Right.
That we want them to flourish as well, that they walk away from their daily responsibilities saying, I'm really I'm working at the top of my game.
Yeah. And I'm part of this. So now you guys know why he's Dan the Man.
No last name needed. Right. I also know he did not give his last name, so I do wonder if there's some sort of circumstance we probably should have looked at in the background check. We're awfully glad to have you here. And boy, we're all of us are excited about your future.
Thank you.
Yes,
Thank
we
you.
are.
Thank you very much.
And thankful for you.
During the holidays, everyone deserves to make lasting memories around the table with their loved ones. But many in our community struggle to provide holiday meals. That's where you come in. You can play a pivotal role in spreading cheer and supporting the health of school children, families, and seniors across the 10 counties we serve in West Central Florida. All you have to do is visit feedingtampabay.org/feedtheseason to donate to our Feed the Season campaign that runs every year. Together, we can make holiday meals possible.
Coming up next, man, is a fascinating lady in our world. She was here even before I came. So, which sometimes seems like a long time ago, and sometimes it seems like yesterday, right? Because of really the good things that happen, I think, shorten the timeline. Yeah. But Ashley, welcome.
Thank you.
Yeah. What is your title?
Chief of Staff.
You've had a number of them.
Yes.
I was just, but which
Have
is
you been
important.
Searching for something you could be good at? Is that?
Yes, it took some time, but I think Chief of Staff is it. That's always been the dream. So I've made it, you guys.
You've made it to the dream.
Peaked.
You've arrived.
I've arrived.
Right.
I'm here.
So we're asking everybody. First of all, we're about food, so much more. But right this moment, we're about food. Is a hot dog a sandwich?
My immediate response is, who cares? But
yes.
I would say it qualifies as a sandwich. There's bread and there's meat.
Okay.
Or
okay.
an insert.
Do you
'cause
like
I guess
them?
peanut butter and jelly is not meat.
Oh, that's true.
Yeah.
I love hot dogs.
Yeah.
So
How do
love
you
hot
dress
dog,
a hot dog?
Ketchup, mustard, relish.
Okay.
As
no
the face
ketchup.
too, like
Like, what are there choices? Like, I don't
Yeah.
understand.
No, we just
Ketchup
want to know
only.
yours, and
No, I know. How
then you might
do
be
you eat
judged
them?
by your
Naturally.
ketchup.
Tell me how you eat your hot dog.
No ketchup. Ketchups do not go on hot dogs
Why?
because it's just not right.
Where does ketchup go?
Hamburger.
Ketchup goes on literally everything.
Yeah,
Oh, there
pretty
you
much.
go.
French
It's on a
fries.
hamburger, not everything.
Oh, fries.
I will just eat hot dog without the bread equally, which is why I don't care if it's a sandwich.
Is there a
That's
brand?
fair.
Then do you put stuff on it, or you just eat like a hot dog? You just got like a hot dog in your little paw there. And you're,
Well,
Like a cheese
cigar.
stick. There you go.
you've
Yeah.
also got to see where she is in her life, right?
true.
You have 2 under 3.
Yes.
Yeah.
So little one's not eating hot dogs yet, but that is a big win when you're trying to get protein in a kid.
Ray also loves hot dogs.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
I cut them up.
Which goes like
Little
the
bite
circles.
size with a fork.
Did you beanie
Yes.
weenies?
No, sorry. I
Yes,
know you
that's
got
right.
really excited.
Just me.
I'm with you on the beanie weenies.
Thank you. That was a big thing for me as a
Yeah,
kid.
no.
Yeah, I like.
I'm checking out on the
beanie
beanie weenies.
My husband also likes the truly sausage dogs.
Okay.
Yes. Mm-hmm. Yep.
Does he have them on a bun, or does he eat them just as a
Yes, with onions, and the Saturday morning market does them.
Yeah.
There's that food truck down there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's a local fave.
That's
yes,
it.
we all love hot dogs. in my
Right. It's a
family.
There you go.
strong hot dog household.
Didn't realize it until right now how much so.
This is
but
why
yeah.
the question's a good question.
Right? I guess, yeah. But I just don't like it about the sandwich. Just make it about the hot dog.
Just speaking about doesn't
So
matter,
it sounds
sandwich.
like you're coming down on the side of a hot dog is not a sandwich.
It doesn't need to be a sandwich.
Okay.
I haven't heard it put that way. Yeah. Just let it be. Just
Just let it be a hot dog.
Just let it live. It's best.
The hot dog just got freed with Ashley.
Yeah.
Free the dog.
So, Ashley, you've been on the show before, back when the Bucks won the Super Bowl in Tampa Bay. None of us can
Bay.
forget about that. And so you've probably, I would love people to go back and look at that. But tell us how long you've been here and how you kind of progressed with FTB.
I've been here about 7 to 8 years. I actually started as a contract worker. I don't know if you know that, actually. I actually did not want to work at Feeding Tampa Bay because the version I knew was that it was such a small shop, and I just am a very systems, big picture thinker. But it was in 2018. The organization was just about to launch its strategic plan at the time, and that was the first strategic plan where we were moving more than just food, and that really piqued my interest. And I have to say, Thomas did a good job of reeling me in because I was curious. I asked a lot of questions, and I was drawn in. But I started in the organization in development. So I've played most roles in fundraising on our team. Ended with our capital campaign, $60 million project, and then now have the pleasure of working with Thomas Mance in Chief of Staff.
And the chief of staff role is kind of aligning thoughts, getting everybody under the same umbrellas,
Yeah.
and keeping him in line.
That's the toughest part of the job, but I think the simplest way to think about it is making sure the right people are talking about the right things at the right time.
Which has been a gift, I got to say.
Yeah, it's an interesting job description, but I want to kind of come back and so you did have a journey
Yes.
before you got to Feeding Tampa Bay.
Yes.
So help us understand a little bit more about your journey into this work. How did that start? What drove you to say this is a career path for me?
Okay, this is a 15-minute podcast segment. So my first job in Tampa was with the Greater Tampa Chamber of Commerce. And at the time, I was working in leadership programs, which is Emerging Leaders of Tampa Bay now, Emerge Tampa Bay at the time, and Leadership Tampa. I had the opportunity to step into a programmatic role with Leadership Tampa because the program director at the time was on maternity leave. And I only say that because otherwise I would never, ever have had that opportunity. But the way Leadership Tampa works is you have different program days and you learn a little bit more about the community in those kind of sector areas. And so the first 3 days of that class in my year was Social Services Day, Education Day, and Law Enforcement Day. And the conversations that we were having, you could see how they all really related to each other, right? They were not independent issues. If you struggled in school, you were more likely to end up in some version of a jail track, right? And we know that in our work today, but that was all new information to me, the connectivity between those things. We also learned that there was more than 10,000 nonprofits. And so immediately I got frustrated, how are we thinking about our resources as a community? Why are we doing this? It felt kind of ego.
So this has always been you.
Questions.
Yes, super questiony, just super trying to understand the bigger picture. I was very fortunate at the chamber, obviously, to like meet a lot of people and understand different ways of life, different backgrounds, different sectors, things of that nature. But for sure, I asked a lot of questions. But because of that, I really started thinking about our community at large and how we think about doing things differently for the greater good, because everyone matters and everyone plays a role, but we were doing a lot of duplication. So in my world, from a fundraising perspective, it was like everyone at the time had a golf tournament to support their local effort, right? But you'd see like the same donors at everything. So like $5,000 sponsorship here and there. And like if we asked them to say $50,000 to something collective, like what could that really be? So I went on from that job to USF Women in Leadership and Philanthropy, which is a giving circle at USF with very prominent women in our community, business leaders, philanthropists, advocacy leaders. And so that just really elevated my level of thought in terms of what was
who
possible.
influenced you? Like, so when you think back on that experience, so you come from a fairly closed circle and people who are emerging in their career, and now you're in front of people who are thought leaders.
Yeah.
They're changing the community in certain ways. Who or what stuck out to you from that experience? Because I have to assume at that point they're thinking in a way that you want to learn to think.
Yeah. Yeah, so that was where I was like, oh, I'm actually meeting like super notable people in our community. So there's two people that really stand out to me in terms of like notable moments, I guess. The first is Pam Iorio, which I feel like is no surprise to anyone who knows anything about her. I felt like just like, oh my gosh, I'm in awe. She was receiving an award for an event I was doing in the sense of just my role, like little old me, right? But we had the opportunity to ask her questions, and I got to choose the questions we asked her. Yay. But something she spoke about in the interview, which just stands out to me today, and you say this actually as well, which I find humorous. How could you say the same thing as Pam Iorio? But she talked about her love of reading, and specifically her love of autobiographies. And so of course I dug in, like, why autobiographies? And she was talking about how it's real people making a difference, not people. So she was speaking really to like Martin Luther King, like people in that kind of genre, in the sense of normal people who had no title or like role of significance. So it's not like the president who, you know, you have to do what they say or whatever the case might be, but people and how they influence change just by who they are. And that inspired her and kind of her leadership journey as well. But it just stood out to me as a young person to be like, like anyone can really make a difference, right? And then the second is Betty Castor, former USF president, first female president, went on to do commissioner of education. None of that, though, is why she stands out to me. So I ended up deciding to leave USF specifically because I wanted to go back to that kind of root cause challenge. And I was like, I have to learn more about like how the world does this. And, you know, I like to like think big. And so I was like, so I applied to a program called Remote Year randomly and got chosen. I didn't end up doing the program, but the point was like kind of like following a path, and this door felt like it was opening for me. And so I really wanted to go to other countries and see how other countries were solving problems, right? Because in America, we think we do everything perfectly. We're smarter, we're brighter, we're right, like whatever the case might be. And I was like, there has to be something that we're missing. Yeah. I knew nothing about that other than I just felt like there was something I could learn. So at an annual meeting, I ended up sharing with the group that I was leaving, and she asked me to go to lunch. What? And it's shocking still to me to this day. And so she was asking like why I was going, like what I was doing. And I'm sure to her, this lunch doesn't even stand out, right, in like the grand scheme of stuff. But like it was like a pivotal thing for me because I, at the time, had only bought a one-way ticket, no plans.
Oh, wow.
Other than I was like hoping to like network my way to different countries.
A one-way ticket to where?
London, because it was the cheapest entry point into Europe. Once you're over
Still is.
there, your travel
Railways
is
and all that.
so easy. So I was just like, I'm on a budget. Like I gotta make this money last because I didn't have any plans of when I was coming back. And so
How amazing.
Yes.
That just sounds dreamy to.
it was unique. Everyone was like, "You're doing this by yourself?"
Oh, I think that's amazing.
Yeah, it was awesome. I loved every second of it. But I don't know how in the lunch we started talking about this, but when I was little, I have just this like memory of like a sky, which sounds so weird, but like in Africa, if you see pictures, like they're always like oranges and reds, like the sky just looks different than I've ever seen here. And I'm from here, St. Pete, so my sky is always the same, right? And somehow I said something about like, it would be a dream to end up in Africa. But in Africa, you like have to have a reason to go in most parts. You can't just be like, I'm flying in and leaving. And so she was like just listening. Like there was no like agreement to do anything or whatever. And I was just like so excited to have lunch with her. Like, right, like that was enough for me. It was like my whole life. And a couple of weeks later, she emailed me and she was like, I've been thinking about what you said. I know someone in Rwanda. Only Betty Castor. And she was like, I'm going to connect you two. And so I ended up making my way to Rwanda. But I feel like I ended up networking my way around the world.
Yeah.
So
Amazing.
yeah. So you go on this journey and you end up in Rwanda. What today sticks out to you about the journey that you wanted to embark upon? And what did you learn that you brought back that informed your thinking today? I know there could be many answers to that question, but is there something that sticks out in your mind that says this was formative to me?
I think the thing I learned or took away the most was humanity. So I mentioned that I started my career in Tampa at the Chamber, and it was lovely. So about what I'm about to say is not to discredit that, but at a very young age, I started like a very specific outer shell as a human of who I was related to my job. And in Rwanda, and in Europe in general, actually, but in Rwanda specifically, like the pace is so slow. I mean, like incredible. Like at first you're like, like what is happening? But I was there long enough to really like acclimate to the culture. And people don't care what you do. Like that's not anywhere in the list of questions that people want to know. I also think the way Rwandans communicate is just like very fascinating. In our country, we can't make eye contact for too long, or we can't stare. It's like seen as rude, or like, why are you staring at me? And in Rwanda, that's how they look at you like so intensely when you're speaking. And I think that's so beautiful. So I feel like my takeaway was really more about myself and how I wanted to be slower paced. I wanted to take the time to eat a meal. I remember talking to one of the students at the college that I was working at. She had been to the United States because she serves as an ambassador for the school. So she's the only person that's ever been out of their little village. And I asked her what stuck out from our country. And she was like, you guys eat and walk at the same time. Like it was so boggling. And I was like, what do you mean? And she's like, I was in New York, which is a whole nother
That's like
right?
that's her only experience.
But she was like talking about a guy eating a banana on a subway, that we have hot dog carts at every corner, right? And it was just such an eye-opening experience about how I only knew one way of life, right? And it's like there's so much culture out there. I think that I've tried to bring into our work here, right? Like there's so many different stories that people have and tell. You leaned in, so I thought you were going to say something. And that's just like was a part of myself that I did not know.
Yeah. So what's the time frame between that journey, that part of your life, that informative part of your life? What's the time frame between then and when you join us?
Like a year.
Yeah. Interesting.
What a person I was then.
Yeah, I think it's interesting that I would observe that at the food bank we have a lot of wonderful people, and it's probably a life comment as well. Those that have done the interior work are generally much more capable than those that haven't done interior work. Meaning, a different way to say it is if you understand the journey you're on as a human being and the things that are formative to you, you generally have a deeper understanding of what it is we're trying to accomplish here, right? You can't do this work from the outside in, right? You can't be a poser in our work or in our world.
Absolutely.
How has that continued to inform the work that you're doing today? What does that journey look like? As Shannon said early on, you've now brought two wonderful little human beings into the world. You've gotten married. You've had a lot of personal change here. How has that informed your work in your world as well in the way that you think about what you're doing today?
There's so much in that.
This isn't some lightweight show here, Ashley.
Right.
Well, we started with, is it a hot dog? A sandwich?
But that got deep.
Yeah. Surprisingly did.
That's called the setup. But just as, to give you a second to think about the question, You obviously went on a personal journey to figure out some of the core things that mattered to you, the influences that ended up shaping some of what you are today. I think I've shared with you similarly, I spent a fair amount of time in Europe at different points in my life, and understanding and seeing different cultures materially altered my view of the world. But you've come back and you've also had a significant shift in your worldview, which is having a family.
Yeah.
And so how has that now influenced your thinking?
Well, the family part, I think, influences the thinking about our long-term, like, community health, which is like a weird thing to say, but obviously going through a government shutdown, seeing families struggle with receiving SNAP benefits. Like, I could just never imagine being a parent and feeling like you can't provide for your family. Like, just unimaginable. I think prior to having a family, I could understand that logically, but not emotionally. And the pressure and the weight that you would carry as a parent. So I feel like that one's easy. I think the thing from a work perspective that I've probably taken the most with me is to really slow down and make sure I'm thinking through the lens of how other people might be feeling about their circumstance. My go-to natural inclination as a human is like mind first, not heart. I have to work really hard. That's what I found so interesting about the journey to Rwanda, because that's like part of their humanity, part of their culture is just so like beautiful. But I have to really like strive to like let myself go and be vulnerable enough to be like that. So that's the part I try to carry with me. This organization is the easiest way to do that. We've had a couple of panel interviews recently, and everyone's asking about our culture, which I find interesting because we have so many tenured employees. And so I think the theme that many of us share is how you can be yourself here. But I think we want also not just that to be an internal feeling, but we want to make sure our neighbors are feeling safe and accepted here,
and
too.
as a mom, you understand the responsibility for protection.
Yes, more than ever.
Yeah. I have two questions I wanted to ask before we. So the first question is, I remember our interview, you, myself, and one of our colleagues, Kelly, sitting at a table at a Starbucks on Dale Mabry. And I remember vividly, I was impressed by your intellect, but concerned by your connection. Right, I could feel that you were wary. Right, for what reason I didn't know. I think now in hindsight, you were trying to figure out, is this the place for you? So you come and you've been in our work for 7+ years, 8 years, whatever it is, and you came here with the idea, and you were very clear in that interview. You had no interest in, you didn't say it this way, but you had no interest in making sure that there were pencils and drawers, and right, you wanted to change the world.
Yeah.
Right. So 7 or 8 years later, do you feel like this is an environment where you can change the world? Is that, as Shannon asked you about your job journey, what you've done differently, do you feel like you're now in a position where you can achieve the things that are important to you?
Yes.
Okay, thanks. That was helpful.
That was an easy yes. Yeah, it's crazy to think of how far our organization has come. So I feel like I'm in the right position to do that. And I feel like, more importantly, the organization is bold enough to actually do the work and want to be in that position. I think that's why I was weary, is we can all say, organizations that have a good tagline or headline and they want to do great things. But I wanted to see like the proof in the pudding. And our team constantly is like talking about being bold, right? Like we understand the challenges, like someone has to step into that space. And I think that's feeding Tampa Bay.
So I have another question, which Ev can edit out.
Okay.
You have several things tattooed on you.
Yes.
But they're all statements. So you don't have a picture of a bird. You don't have a, right?
Yeah.
You don't have a heart with mom in it.
Not
right?
yet.
So share with us one of the things that you've had tattooed on you that you got for a particular reason and why. If you don't want to answer it, Ev can edit this.
Such a good question. This is like my favorite question.
Oh.
If I had to write a book, my tattoos would be the chapters of the book. So I love that. Thank you for the question. So intrigued. I think they all mean something. I'm trying to think of which one's like the most interesting. Can I say two?
Of course.
Now I just want to tell you the journey of my tattoos.
How many you got? No.
I have
perfect.
4, I think.
Yeah.
So my first tattoo is on, or so the funny reason why I got them, is Toneice Sarah on my right shoulder. And it's on my left shoulder. And when I was in college, I was a Greek president of my sorority, and I had an advisor who I loved dearly. She was like an incredible mentor, and she told a story about the terminology sine cera, and it means without wax. And the idea is like if you have a crack in a piece of pottery in the olden days, they would have discarded it and say it wasn't worthy. But then they started realizing you could fix them with wax and make it whole. And so it's better to be flawed and cracked in who you are authentically than something you're not. But what's funny about that is I got it on my left shoulder because I worked at the chamber, and I learned your right shoulder is where your name tag goes, and that's the shoulder people look at when you're meeting you. So I was very in the mindset of like I still have to be protective of this like aura I was trying to be at a young age. So my second tattoo was Contra Corriente, which means going against the current. And I got that tattoo after I did my first solo trip to Spain. And that was the first time I went to Europe, and no one asked me what I did, and it broke me. Like,
oh, man.
Talk about pivotal moment. I had no idea how to talk to people outside of like the chamber work conversation. And so that tattoo I actually got on my right hand because I was trying to be like daring, and oh my gosh, for a second, it's on my left.
I lost it.
Just for the listener, it's not really important where they are. It's really the
thoughtfulness
where
that's
they are,
behind
unless
them.
it's important to your story.
It is. It's so important because it's a journey of my boldness of where they were placed as I was becoming who I am,
Gotcha.
and not so worried about like the brand or whatever that other people expected me to be. But I still put it under my arm because I was nervous in the wrong meeting. Like someone would see it. I worked at USF at the time, and so it's a very specific place. But then my third tattoo is I Surrender because I had gone to, they're all travel related, I guess, as I'm realizing. But I had went to South America, and it was just like the most free place I've ever felt. I was in therapy like knee deep at the time, and we talked a lot about just like following the path that you're given and not trying to like change the course. And I was trying to like micromanage everything. So I got I Surrender on my right wrist, so it's very prominent and visible. So I do think there's a story to the journey.
Is the next one on face, or is it like
I was sitting here thinking, where
really
is it?
like
Which is terrible.
Right.
So tattoos are really cool. I love learning about other people's tattoos because I think there's often, not always, but often a very interesting story and a piece of someone in them.
Yeah.
For sure.
Well, folks, you have met the wonderful Ashley, and now you know why she's a treasure to us. A brilliant mind and even a bigger heart who has grown with this organization and will continue to help us level up
That's right.
That's right.
to the next. Thank you, friend.
Thank you.
So up next, friends, is like, seriously, every time I walk in the building, she gets claps.
Oh, stop.
She looks so good all the time. Toneice, welcome
Thank you.
to Heroes of FTB.
Wow.
Yeah.
Thank you.
We're really
Excited
excited to have you here and on our team. You're relatively new to our team. How long have you been here?
It has been 8 months.
Okay.
Yes. Yeah.
Does it feel longer or shorter?
It feels longer.
Yeah.
Like
Right.
when people say I'm only 8 months, I was like, only 8 months?
Yeah.
Like, what do you mean? I feel like I see you all. I've seen her for years
Right.
coming in the building.
Right.
They say
Right?
time flies when you're having fun, right?
True.
Exactly. We're doing great things. Yeah. Same. Okay. So the question that we've been asking everybody, kind of the icebreaker.
Okay.
Is a hot dog a sandwich?
Yes. It
Why?
is.
Certainly.
Well, it's in between 2 pieces of bread. It's split. It's a sandwich. Now, we don't say it, but it's a sandwich.
Right.
Okay.
It's a sandwich.
Yeah.
So the bread is a delineator as to whether it's a sandwich or not.
Yes, it is. I would have to say it is.
Do you like hot dogs?
It depends. Like,
Is it a mood thing?
it's a brand thing. So I like Nathan's.
Nathan's. That was big in my
Nathan's
house.
or Hebrew
Yeah.
National? Or,
I didn't know that.
That's a good one too.
or
That's a
Hebrew.
good one.
I haven't had that one. Hebrew National? Okay.
What is our thought on the hot dog eating contest?
You could actually. Have you ever watched one?
Yeah.
Have you?
I had to judge one once.
Did you?
Okay?
Did you make it through? 'Cause
Oh,
It's
God.
foul.
Yeah.
It was
Yeah.
like, why am
It's
I
also-
here?
I also have to think at this point, having watched, not watched, but paying, it feels like such a waste of food.
For sure.
Oh, sure.
Yeah.
Now that we're where we're at. Like,
Yeah.
who cares if you
But
can eat
watching
1,000
people
hot
do
dogs?
that, I don't know who, and without keeping our show PG,
Right.
what in God's name happens about 2 hours later? It can't be good.
they're out of commission for.
All I know is that whatever goes on there,
Yeah.
it's
I would do it if you could enjoy it, but they're like dunking the buns in water and eating them separately. I just to like eat as many as
Yeah.
possible.
This
and
is a
being
real
able to eat
sport.
whatever it is,
I know.
70 or 80 hot dogs in 10 minutes. It just seems right.
foul.
The capacity to be able to do it. Like,
But seriously, and you
But
can't.
usually they're not. Sometimes they're huge, but
Right,
then you have
right.
this tiny
It
little
depends.
guy.
But in order to
from my
win, they can
experience,
only
won it all.
Yeah, but in order to win, they can only come out one way.
Oh yeah, right.
Oh,
Yeah, you have to keep on.
Yeah,
really
that's
have
right.
to train for that.
Inventory has to stay.
Why?
Is that
Until
the
it's
Why
official
I
term?
don't- and I want to know what influences that you want to do that, like goals.
I would like to be a champion eater.
Yeah.
Anywho, so how
Day
do you
one.
like a hot dog prepared?
That's a good question. I love obviously ketchup and mustard. And
Okay,
then,
we stop in your kitchen.
I do have to have ketchup and
He's
mustard.
anti-ketchup for some
and then
reason.
like some sautéed onions.
I'm
on
not
it.
anti-ketchup.
You know?
Ketchup does not belong on a hot dog
Why?
because it just doesn't.
So wait, what do you
That's in
like?
his world. Yeah.
What do you like on a hot dog?
There's only two items that should be on a hot dog: mustard and relish.
Debatable.
Anywho,
Consensus.
So, friend, what is it that you do here at Feeding Tampa Bay? You've been here for 8 months.
Yeah.
What is your now, mind you, we have to reflect, and we haven't done that yet. We all have our roles, but often all lean in to help each other.
Yeah.
Right? So it's kind of seriously, we have an amazing culture, and it's kind of a team, swarm mentality
Yeah.
sometimes when it has to be. But what is your role?
My official title is Assistant Director of Development over grants.
Okay.
So I oversee our grants team, an amazing bunch, along with managing a portfolio. So I'm still responsible for connecting with individuals and cultivating and stewarding relationships.
Okay. Okay. And where were you before you came to us?
I was with the Boys and Girls Clubs of Tampa Bay. I was with them for 6 years.
Doing?
I was there, my last role, I was their Vice President of Grants.
Okay.
Yeah.
So grants. What
Grants.
what drew you? Good writer,
Yeah.
great thinker, because you have to think of the how you leverage
Yeah.
to tell the stories.
Yeah.
So what drew you to that?
It was always the why. So I was working in the clubs and having someone to tell me, oh, we can't do this. Oh, it's not in the budget. But why? But why? Because the grant says so. But why? I
Right.
was always asking questions. And so I finally had the opportunity to apply for a position. I was overseeing one of their federal grants, the 21st Century Grant. And you just learn a whole different side. And so now you're the one telling people no, but now I can add context to it, like what I would have wanted to, like the context behind it. And so that's kind of what brought me over to the development side. Yeah.
what leads you into a career like this? How does what's your journey to get to the place to Boys and Girls Clubs? Now we know how you got into development, but what led you? How did you end up there? What's been your pathway?
I've been working with youth since I was 14. I started off as a counselor at a sports camp. And then when I graduated college, I taught math for 3 years at an underserved, at-risk all-girls school in Southeast DC. And then just stayed on that path. Like I really enjoy just, I guess, being a kid with kids too.
Right, right.
Just made my way to after school, out of time school programs
So
in
that
Maryland.
explains Boys and Girls Club.
Yeah.
So I'm sorry, I can't get past the teaching math.
I taught math.
So
yes.
all right, so how old were you when you were teaching math?
Oh gosh, I was 21.
You're 21 and you're
21.
teaching math to inner city kids?
Yes, 4th and 5th graders.
And what kind of math? We should know this.
Probably.
We don't
What kind of
remember
math
this
we do?
anymore.
What level of math are we
What,
talking
what
here?
are we are we into division, long division?
We're in division. We're in
fractions?
fractions. It really depends. So I had 3 grades, or 4th and 5th, but they were split into 3 groups. And so you had some that, kind of were on a 2nd or 3rd, but then you had a group that they were on 6th grade.
Oh.
Yeah. So even though it was fourth and fifth, we called them, it was like faith, hope, and peace. So it was mixed. It was based on what level they were on.
So how is that formative to your thinking about what we do, what you do, the work you're in?
Yeah.
Because I have to believe in a situation like that, there are kids for whom the answers are more difficult, not
Right.
meaning math answers, but answers to life. And there are kids for whom there appear to be a future. How do you start to make your way through what that means to you?
I think hindsight, because at the time
You're just going through it,
you're just
yeah.
going through it. But looking back, really that equality versus equity, that's what really stuck with me. Meeting the child where they're at. You know, you have kids that were coming in on first and second grade level, but I'm expected to teach fourth and fifth grade math. That is not what they need. They need us to be at their level and then slowly make those increments so that they are prepared. And so, like, when I got older, I realized, oh, that's what I was doing. I was meeting them. I was providing them what they need to be successful at the level that they are at, so that they can make it to the next level.
Well, one of the things I think we know in our work, which is certainly it's a challenge for us to express this outside of our own orbit that we operate in, but the presumption is often that whether you're a child or whether you're an adult, the reason for your lack of success has to do with your effort level, your caring, your investment, your willingness, things that we think are controllable. But you're in an environment where there are so many uncontrollable elements to whether a child could learn or not.
Yeah.
And it had to impress upon you how you approach care.
Yes, very true. I could think of an instance. So let me backtrack with saying, as far as thinking about care, I realized that children, they want to be seen, they want to feel like they belong, they want that safe space, because a lot of these kids were coming from just environments that you just unthinkable. And so coming to school, getting a meal, being around their friends, having a cool teacher, that was that safe space for them. So for me, if that's the bare minimum that I could provide is a safe, nurturing space, then I can do this every day, all day.
And the only one they have.
Yeah.
So really you have all those things that you're responsible for, but sometimes the missing link is having somebody care about you.
Yeah. Yeah.
Did you have someone in your life who influenced your desire to be a caregiver?
That is really a good question. I would have to say, I had a teacher, I will say, I had a teacher in middle school that was that cool teacher. And I remember wanting to just be around them because they taught drama too. And so I just remember always wanting to be around this individual, kind of emulating. I found myself wearing sweaters and like little brooches too, like mocking that teacher. Miss Thompson, that's what's her name. Yes. And so I just loved how she was with us, I grew up in Baltimore, in the city, West Baltimore. And so just to have her and wanting to model after her and seeing how she was with us, I was like, ooh, if anyone, I want to be like her with whatever kids I'm surrounded by.
And you even would dress like her. Try to.
Yes.
I love that. That's amazing.
And how old do you think she was when she was teaching you?
So at the time, I probably thought she was like 80.
Yeah, that's always right. Yeah.
I knew she was 50.
But I don't think she was. I think
She was probably 32.
Yeah, right.
Oh,
wow.
The perception of age when you're young.
Yeah. So that obviously the experience, I would assume, teaching math, but particularly the experience that kids were having, obviously influenced your career choices from there?
Yeah, they have. I don't have kids of my own, and I feel like any kid that I'm around, eventually, that they are my kid, because I do believe in that saying, it takes a village, So any kid that I am engaged in, I know I have a responsibility to drop a nugget, to engage, to do something. Like I know I'm gonna leave some type of impression, and I want that impression to always be a positive one, because they're gonna take it back. I could think on people when I was younger who I'm like, they weren't the best adult. They probably shouldn't have been teaching, and I don't ever want a child to walk away and that's that memory of me. For them.
Right.
Yeah.
So when you came to us, you walked away from
I did, yeah.
a career in taking care of children.
Yeah.
You now have a much greater span of control in terms of influence, right? How did you make that choice? What was the impetus for you to say, you know what, I see something different for myself? Because at that point, you probably dedicated, as you go back to 14, you've dedicated many years of being in in the world of children.
Yeah.
While we do take care of a whole lot of them, it's a different situation you're in today.
Yeah. Something different. That's what I was looking for, a new challenge, just a new journey. But specifically why Feeding Tampa Bay, I remember during COVID, Lewis, he's a coordinator with the volunteers. The center that I was running, he would bring the truck and I was out there and it was just us two handing out meals, just doing the work, with folks in the community. And that always created a lasting impression. So when this position became available, I was like, oh, Feeding Tampa Bay, yes. I know the work that they do. I was literally with him. So I knew it was a good place. And so I was willing and wanting to make that change in that journey here. Yeah.
So you also have a very robust personal life, right? You're in the midst of you're in the midst of pursuing your PhD.
Yes, my doctorate's in business administration at the University of Tampa. Dang. So yeah.
How far are you from, or to? Where are you? What causes one to go on this journey?
Yeah.
I don't know. I guess being an overachiever. I don't know. It's always been a goal, and so I'm just I want to do it. I'm going to do it. I'm in my second year. I'm wrapping up my fall semester of my second year. So it's a 3-year program, and I slowly see that light, a glimmer of it flickering.
That's a heck of a lot of work.
It is. It is definitely a rigorous program. I'm thankful for my classmates. We're in it together. There's been a lot of blood, sweat, and tears shed, but yes, it is definitely.
So you all go through the program together?
Yes, we do.
And why business administration? What about that you said do you see yourself moving back into the education field? Is it simply something you want to accomplish for yourself? How do you see that?
So my discipline area is leadership and management. I truly believe that being an effective leader can truly push a mission forward, because if you pour into your staff and really give them the resources that they need to thrive, they're going to wake up every day wanting to run the pavement with you, and I truly believe that. And so with that, I see myself eventually down the road consulting with other nonprofits. So not only leadership and management, but specifically in the nonprofit sector, because that's the world that I understand. And so I could see myself doing consulting. I could see myself doing presentations at conferences and whatnot, really speaking on leadership and management. Yeah. Yeah.
That's so. Is there someone in your career history as a leader that has stuck out to you?
Yes. I was at the Y. I used to live in Birmingham, in Alabama, for a good 6 years of my life. And I remember when this lady came in, she was new and she was introduced. She's our new supervisor. And she just had a presence about her. It was this automatically girl power, women can do everything. And she saw something in me that I didn't see. And so she was pouring into me that development that I never received, and really training me up, taking me to board meetings, having me do presentations, being a part of the annual campaign. And so I'm learning all these things and I'm not really understanding why. But then after that, she was like, you need to leave. This is not where you need to be. And so I respect and I appreciate someone really pushing me and challenging me to want more for myself. And so that actually was what brought me to Tampa, was a position. And so I'm very thankful. I'm thankful for having someone that saw something to invest in me and really nurture and develop me. Yeah.
Right, and then recognize that you kind of were outgrowing.
Yeah, because I didn't know.
Because it was really more about supporting you.
Yeah.
We all need somebody.
I think probably, I don't know what your studies would be, but I think probably if there is a trait a leader needs to have, it's their ability to recognize in someone else things it's hard for us to see. I think all of us that have ever achieved anything, someone has believed in us long before we ever knew or believed in ourselves.
Yeah, very
for
true.
certain.
Very true.
Right.
As you kind of think about, and again, you're still new with us, but as you kind of think about the road ahead, what interests you or excites you about what you can do here? What's kind of, as you start to say, okay, in the food bank world can be really hard to learn. We always tell people you got to take a year at the food bank before you really have your feet underneath you. But what, from your perspective, what kind of excites you about moving forward?
I think is honestly bittersweet because I see so much potential to expand, to grow, to really scale. I know we're in 10 counties, but you start meeting other partners in different areas, and you realize, wow, there's a lot of work that still needs to be done. So that's the bitter part. But then I guess that is the exciting part, is that to know that there's potential to reach other individuals, and I could be a part of that journey. So, yeah.
There's certain, from our perspective, your gifts are unlimited. We're excited about what you can do and what you're going to be here, especially after you have your PhD. Will we have to call you doctor then?
I don't know yet.
Dr. T.
Can we, if we want to? I don't know.
It's double claps when I walk by your desk.
Right.
Oh, you've worked pretty hard to earn it.
Yeah. Yes, you have.
A lot of sleepless nights.
Right.
It's worth it. Yeah.
Well, thank you for joining us, friends. We appreciate you and love having you as part of the team and learning about you a little bit more.
That's exciting. Thank you.
Thank you.
For sure.
Yeah.
Can you imagine a world with no hunger? We can. It's what we work toward every day, but we cannot do this alone. It's with the generosity of donors, partners, and volunteers that we are able to provide nutritious food to Florida's most vulnerable. And you can help. When you purchase the Imagine license plate featuring the iconic self-portrait of John Lennon, your dollars feed hungry Floridians. And every $25 donation goes directly to Feeding Florida. Visit feedingflorida.org and look for the Taking Action page to get your Imagine license plate today.
Rolling in to another one of our colleagues, and I've got to tell you, between warehouse and driving and things like that, I think that's one of those spaces in our world where my time here, I have gained a tremendous amount of knowledge and respect and understanding.
Absolutely.
Even learning how to be better on the roads for other people. So I'm really grateful for that team, not only the work that they do, but the influence that they also provide within our team. So one of those who kind of helps lead that charge is Marcellus. Welcome, friend.
Welcome.
How everybody doing?
Good.
We're doing really good. So, of course, the question of the hour, is a hot dog a sandwich?
All right, so they got this question thrown on me one time before, and I didn't know what was going on. I was like new to the room, so my answer was, if a hot dog was sitting on the counter and I said, "Fix me a sandwich," would you go past that hot dog to the refrigerator to get some cold cuts and a loaf of bread?
Wow, this is a thoughtfully developed
'Cause he's
answer.
been asked before.
Wow.
Right.
And that was my original answer when they asked me that. I didn't know that's what they were doing.
Right.
They were like, "Oh wow," because I don't think it's a sandwich.
Yeah.
But it's meat and 2 pieces of bread.
Right. But if you take the cold cut and the loaf of bread, if I'm looking at this cold cut, what is it? Cold cut. If it's bread, it's bread. When you put it together, it's a sandwich. If you take a hot dog and say, what is this? A hot dog. If I take the hot dog bun, what is this? A hot dog bun. You put it together, what is it? It's a hot dog. They don't change it to a sandwich.
Interesting.
They
change
don't.
it. They just still say it's a hot
I
dog.
love that.
Do you
Thank
like hot dogs?
Yes, love hot dogs.
Yeah. How do you dress it?
Yeah. So I actually like sauerkraut.
Okay.
Me too.
She was,
Sauerkraut.
Is it buried in sauerkraut? Or a little
No,
bit?
not buried.
No, it's
Not
a
buried.
well, I mean, I guess
Like
people
dusty.
do eat it.
I
Whereas
put mustard and sauerkraut.
Nice.
if I'm having a craving,
Hot mustard or
sometimes
regular
some
mustard?
some pickle
Regular
relish.
mustard. Regular mustard.
Yellow mustard is for me too. Sometimes a little pickle relish is good.
Sometimes. It depends on like the sauerkraut. Some people make theirs different. They add like little extra things. But if it's not there, then I may throw that on there.
Do you like
Okay.
sweet coleslaw or spicy coleslaw?
Both.
None for me. Thanks.
None of them.
I like
You don't like
both.
coleslaw?
I
You guys
love
can have
both.
it. Yeah.
Coleslaw has mayonnaise. Hello, people.
Oh, that's right. You're not. Yeah.
Oh no, you two can talk about mayonnaise after the show.
Right.
'Cause it skeeves me
Big
out.
fans.
I can't. Anyway, Marcellus, tell us what your role is at Feeding Tampa Bay.
Well, I am the transportation manager. I'm responsible for the drivers getting in and out of the warehouse safely, also delivering the food out to the community, also picking up the food from different vendors or donors to have brought back to the warehouse. That's pretty much what I do on a daily basis.
Did you start in that role here at Feeding Tampa Bay?
No, I did not. I actually started as a driver.
Okay.
I came in from a previous food bank that basically they wanted to end their food banking. So Feeding Tampa Bay came in and said, hey, well, we're going to basically be taking over Polk County. We're going to offer everybody that's here a position at our location, which was in Tampa. So
Right.
out of the 12 people, I'm the only one that came over.
Wow.
Because everyone else kind of like, it wasn't suitable for them to do it. And I like doing what I do.
Yeah.
So I got in my car one day and I just drove over to see what the drive would look like. And I was like, I told my wife, it's not bad, you know, not really. And I met Louis Arocho, and I was told that my position was going to be from 7 o'clock in the morning. Louis was like, oh no, we start at 5. And I was like, oh, okay.
Yeah. Ooh, that's an adjustment.
So I jumped in my car again at 5 o'clock in the morning just to see what the drive felt like. And there was nobody on the road. Everything was cool, and I didn't know what it was like going home at 3 o'clock in the afternoon, but I got used to it.
Yeah.
But Jim, Rhonda came over, and they talked to us there, and it was like, hey, our boss, which would be Thomas, is going to make sure you get 40 hours. You may get 80. And I was like, okay. All right.
Well, the truth is the truth.
So
How did you end up there as a vocation? Did you...
So there was a guy that I knew that was saying, hey, man, you know how to drive a forklift, right? And I was like, yeah. He said, we need a forklift driver. And at that time, I was working at night, and I really didn't want to be working at night. So he was like, we have a day position, and you could come in and talk to the guy. I went in and got on the forklift, and I think three days later, I was driving a truck.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Driving a truck, and I was like, okay.
Did you know how to drive a truck?
Actually, I did.
Okay.
I'm former military.
There we go.
I did 4 years in the Marine Corps, which I was in motor transport, so I can pretty much drive everything.
Yeah.
And I drive my wife crazy. So
That's the other thing.
I can
One of the
pretty much
skills
drive
you have, driving
Exactly.
skills.
I'm a great driver.
Yeah.
And that's pretty much that's my origin. When I came in and I started seeing, like, I always like to help people anyway, because my grandmother raised me. She always said, help who you can, and everything else will take care of itself.
She's very right.
That's pretty much, that was me. That's how I was raised, and I just always like helping people. I guess that's kind of why I went into the military, to help, whatever we may need for my country.
What age were you when you went into the military?
I was 18 years old, shiny and new.
And you just signed up and
Just a
said, I'm ready
baby.
to go.
Right.
And how'd you decide on the Marines?
So we had the Army recruiter and the Marine recruiter at our school.
Okay.
And I never did any ROTC or any of that, but I played football and basketball. And the Marine recruiter was actually one of our football coaches. So I had an accident, got hurt, and didn't know what I was going to do. So he came to me and said, hey, do your rehab, do everything you need to do, and come see me when you're done with your rehab, and we can look at some things. And at that point, it was just like, I didn't know what I was going to do college-wise or anything like that. So I looked into it, started meeting with him regularly, and he said, let's take the ASVAB test. That's a test, that's your intake test. And I took it. And apparently I scored high, because he came back and he was like, hey, you can do anything you want to in the Marines. I was like, okay, cool. What do you want to do? I like to drive. And he was like, okay, well, he said you can go in, it's listed as motor transport. So that's what I did, and it worked out for me, and I only ended up doing 4 years because at that point I had a child, and by that time I had a child, and it was only myself here in Florida. My grandmother had just passed, so it was kind of like I needed to make some changes to figure out some things, and unfortunately, leaving the military was the only option that I really had at that point in time. So that's
Would you have built a career there?
Yes.
Yeah, okay, so you would have stayed.
Yes.
Yeah, but you did 4 years of serving our
Did
country.
4 years of service, and I kept my name on the list as if they needed to bring anyone back. I kept my name available just in case up until I was 30, and then I took my name off that list.
Did you ever get called back?
Nope, I never did.
No.
Nope.
It was the timing wasn't
Right.
right.
Yeah.
Right.
I thought they were going to, because during that period, that's when we had 9/11
Yes.
was still fell into that. So I was kind of like wondering if it was going to happen or not, and it didn't. My wife was glad that it didn't.
Yeah.
Right.
But my child was older, so therefore I was prepared. I know she could take care of everything if it came up. I was ready.
So you come over here. I remember when we went through that transition, it was quite a big deal for us to suddenly have Polk County to take care of. It had always been our responsibility, but we had to build out a service plan over there. But you come over here and you start driving, but then someone comes to you one day and says, hey, how would you like to supervise all these knuckleheads? How did that come about, and what was that like for you?
So I got pulled into the office, and it was me and other 3 drivers. Is it 3? Yeah, other 3 drivers. And they were like, hey, so we determined that we feel we may need some additional leadership outside of the manager. And we selected you guys if you're willing to accept it. And I was like, sure, I see what the manager was doing, and I could tell there was a lot. There was a lot going on. So, again, only question I had was, what would you need me to do? That was it. Whatever you need me to do, I'm going to do. I'm going to jump in the truck. I'm going to be in the warehouse. I'm going to downstack this, downstack that. Whatever you needed me to do, just let me know, and we just kept rolling. And then...
No, please go ahead.
Then at that point, I was approached again to move into the manager position, and I was a little skeptical. And they were like, "Hey, we got you. We're gonna do this. We're gonna do that, and you're gonna still have Khalil, who's now the operations manager." He was like, "Hey, I feel you're a good fit for this position and everything. I'll be right there with you to get you acclimated into everything that was going on. And plus, the guys that were there, the drivers that were there at that time, I had a pretty good relationship with, so I felt like, okay, we can make this happen."
They would listen to you.
Yeah.
Because that's got to be tough. I think one of the principles of management that's really hard. I remember when I got my first promotion from being like a line person, I was answering calls, and they wanted to promote me into a manager position. They would not promote me to a manager position in my own department. You had to go to another one because the day before you're all buddies. Yeah. Everybody's the same level, right? You're joking, and all. Then the next day you're their boss.
Yeah.
That can be tricky. Yes.
It is tricky at sometimes because now you have to be over here. You have to be the manager,
right?
And you have to do everything that's asked of you to do within the procedures and policies of what's going on. Then over here you have these guys, like you said, that you ate lunch with, and everything, and now they don't want to, I guess it doesn't match. So now they don't want to eat lunch with you no more because of what's been talked about or whatever, things like that. So
everybody wants to talk about their boss. It doesn't matter who you are. Everybody wants to talk
that's
about
how it goes.
If I leave the room, Evan Shannon will talk about it.
Yeah, we turn the mics off.
Turn the mics off. Yeah, there you go. But I felt comfortable, and when you're dealing with like a multiple people, everybody has their own personality. I'm also a basketball coach.
Oh,
so
what age?
I've coached all ages.
You have.
Is that your sport in school, or was it football?
So my main sport was basketball.
Gotcha.
But I also played football because of my size. I was short, but I could play basketball, but my size fit more to football. So,
Gotcha.
I coach a elite team, and when I say elite, that we travel, Las Vegas, California, New York, things like that. And during my period of coaching, I've been coaching since 1995.
Oh, wow.
And I have kids that I've coached that went on to now coach other kids that went to college for basketball. So I coached from 3rd grade all the way up to 11th grade. I coached at George Jenkins High School for 3 years. For 3 years. I like more travel than high school because you're only dealing with the kids when you're dealing with high school. So
what are the similarities between coaching a bunch of high school players and managing a bunch of drivers? Are there similarities? Are there ways in which you think about it the same?
It's somewhat, yes, because kids, a lot of kids come from different backgrounds.
Yeah.
Same thing with the drivers. They come from different backgrounds. So you have to kind of get to know who you're dealing with, and you focus on what that particular person is dealing with, maybe dealing with at home. Kids deal with things at home the same way grown men deal with things at home. So I don't look at them as the same because I know I can just call their parents and say, hey, little Jimmy's not doing what he's supposed to do. Yeah. I can't call nobody's wife and tell them.
Can you get this
That could be tricky.
Right.
That can be tricky. Well, I think it's, as you're saying, I remember, to use a sporting analogy, I've used this many times, but Jimmy Johnson, when he was the coach of University of Miami, was asked, or maybe it was one of the Dolphins. I don't remember which one, but he was asked, do you have one set of rules for 52 players? And he said, I got 52 players. I got 52 sets of rules because everybody's different. And then one of the tricks of, early on when you first manage people, you think, well, I'm going to treat everybody the same. I'm going to be the kind of person that, and then you realize that doesn't work for anybody because everybody hears things differently. They process things differently. They care about different things, and how you have to have conversations with each of them. It makes management a heck of a lot harder.
I think dealing with kids at a younger age, like I say, it was 95, 96 when I started basically dealing with kids and coaching. I think that helped me become
better manager.
Also the same as the military, because I also was the platoon leader.
Yeah.
So I was responsible for these guys knowing how to, you be able to put your rifle together when you even took it apart, or if it jammed, why you had to do these different things, and how to take care of your feet when you're out there marching and you get wet and things like that. So I think the military, if a person can't go to college, I feel that at least 4 years in the military gives you that structure and helps you be able to function more in life and make those decisions and lead people.
It surely would. I think, the art of taking care of people and getting them to perform, right? And you have a particular kind of person, whether it's on the basketball court or that work here, that everybody gets motivated in different ways, right?
Yes.
And it's hard to keep all of that together. You run a very complex, right, as you talked about in the beginning, the amount of trucks coming in and out, food going in and out. How do you manage to keep all that straight? Like, how do you, the amount of stuff going on down there?
I can tell you now, I'm thinking about a pantry that's tomorrow.
Yeah. Right.
So a lot of times, I don't know if it's what my thing I like to tell people is, I feel that I have a nephew that has autism. And I watch him and the things that he do, and he picks up on one particular thing a lot, and some things he don't. And I feel everybody has a trait of it, because some people can pick up different things and just know it. With me, it's numbers and information. So I can have it all in my head. You can say, hey, what is this? What is this? What is this? I can come back and say, oh, this person is taking this in this truck, and he has this pantry, and I can get it off of my head sometimes.
Right.
Also, I have a good team too. I have a good team. Reggie and Earl and Tony and Virgilio, who are my lead drivers. I can rely on them to do things also when I need to. Hey, you guys, remember what this was, or remember what this was? They can hit me back and say, yeah, this is this is that. And it's just something that I can do. I keep I can hold a lot of information.
So as you kind of think about, you've been, we merged with them, trying to think of what year that was.
It was
pre-COVID, right?
Right. It was
2017 or 18?
17.
It was before Trinity.
It was before me.
Yeah. It was 17 or 18. It was 17 or 18. Yeah, it was 17.
So you've been in this work for a while now, right? You're long enough into this that it's starting to feel like a career, I would imagine.
Yes.
So what about the nonprofit world and the work we do speaks to you? I know that every day you're wrestling dragons down there trying to figure out how to get somebody from point A to point B, or a driver didn't show up, or this was on the truck, not on the truck.
Or somebody like me calling up and saying, I need a truck.
I need a truck because I got a food drive, whatever it is. But
and he doesn't get mad.
What speaks to you about the work that we do?
What speaks to me about the work that we do? It's just seeing the smile on people's faces when, they don't know what they're going to do. Some people in that line don't know what they're going to do. They don't know. Kids at school don't know if they're going to eat. So I get a little teared up about it.
Absolutely.
So,
it is. It's, we had one of your other colleagues said today that has children, I can't imagine not being able to feed my kids.
Right.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And we see that, and it
that's a feeling that you never want to have.
No,
Right.
No, as a parent and as a human, and I think the bad news is that we have to see it. The good news is we get to do something about it.
Do something about it.
Yeah.
Yes, sir. We
That
can do
and
something about it.
the peace and joy once we give somebody.
Oh yeah. When somebody comes to that, thank you so much. thank you. I'm glad
I
you
don't
guys
know
are
what I
out
was
here.
gonna do.
Yeah.
No problem. I'll be out here until I fall asleep if I have to. I got people in line and we got food.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
I've heard that so much that like the drivers are the touch point for the community, and you guys get so much of that deserved praise of like you are making this possible. You're like bringing that safety and that like comfort right to them, and they see you guys.
Well, the amount of compliments we get sent to by either Rhonda or I from a store as well, saying my driver has been, and I know them well, and they're an important part of our world. It's one of the underappreciated parts of the work that your team does is they're ambassadors for the brand.
Yeah, I tell them that all. I say, hey, those agencies know their agency relations rep, but they know you more than anything. They see you
and all those stores do, and their names on their shirts every day.
Right, and they're waiting for them.
Hey, where's Charles at today?
Yeah.
Or, hey, where's Kevin at today? Oh, he's on PTO. Oh, God bless him.
Yeah.
Making sure he's all right.
Making sure he's okay. Making sure those guys are okay.
Yeah. Like I said when we started, I've learned so much working with our drivers and that team, and how they are the ambassadors for us. Like it is just amazing the compliments that you guys get, and what a treasure it is to work with you. Thank you so much for stopping by, stick a fork in it, and we appreciate you and your team so much.
Good to spend time with you.
Yeah. Fellas, we got another one.
Yeah.
Welcome, Nicole.
Nicole, our former teacher, do you have a ruler with you for wrapping knuckles?
Yeah.
I should.
Probably.
Shouldn't
Yes.
I?
We need some
Were you ever in a time where you actually
wrap knuckles?
they did have?
No, I wasn't allowed to, but I have a lot of scars from when I went to Catholic school and have some knuckle issues.
Can you believe they used to spank us? Like take us outside the door and.
We had this conversation in a previous podcast about whether that was good or bad. It's tricky territory now, so we're going to just skip on over it.
Yeah, let's.
But you have a question to ask.
I do, but that we didn't really need an icebreaker with Nicole, but we do have one. Is a hot dog a sandwich?
And I have thought weeks about this, honestly, since I first saw this. So in my home, we've been debating this.
Okay.
All right, now who's in the home?
My husband, John, and my son, Dylan. And
How old is Dylan?
Dylan is 26. So he's technically in and out of the home. We'll put it to you that
That's
way.
okay.
But he's old enough to have an opinion.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
And he's had a few
opinions
hot
since-
dogs, right?
Yes.
Okay.
So we think it's a hot dog and it's not a sandwich.
This is like the biggest cop-out answer of all time. We have
reasons, I
heard
think.
this more than once. It is such...
So explain
Okay,
why.
It's in
Why?
a bun.
I don't care,
Like
though.
a hamburger is in a bun, so it's not a sandwich.
You people are afraid to take positions. That's really what's happening here.
That is my firm position.
Yeah.
Do you like hot dogs?
I love hot dogs.
And what do you put on your hot dog?
I put onions, mustard, and relish.
Okay, so you don't do ketchup.
No.
Loaded.
Thank God for that.
Ketchup vendetta for hot dogs.
Oh my
I
gosh.
just don't get it. It's like mayonnaise on ham. You
would-
don't put
yeah.
mayonnaise on ham.
No, I would. No, that sounds bad.
First of all, you don't put mayonnaise on anything.
Mayonnaise.
if you're Shannon. Yeah.
What is Miracle Whip? It's
Miracle.
nectar of the gods. That's why they call it a miracle.
That
It's
just made
Miracle Whip. Anywho,
Except for him.
Yeah.
so your family came down firmly. Both your son and husband agreed with you?
Yes, they did for once.
So
That never happens in my
Did you
home.
talk them into your way of thinking, or did they talk you into their way of thinking?
No, we all just really agreed. We all agreed.
Like a hot dog is a hot dog.
It's a hot
anyway,
dog.
Lame.
I'm
like the
really
bonus
wondering what, because it's going to be 10 times we ask this question, what our fans think and who they're going to agree with.
Yeah.
I say it's a hot dog.
I say that it's not a sandwich. Yeah.
Thomas, clearly you believe.
I think you all are weaseling out of the question.
I don't think so.
I think
He's
you're
interested
not
in the
being
logic.
intellectually
But
curious
anyway,
enough to pursue an answer.
Back to Nicole.
There's no courage. There's no
So
backbone
Nicole,
here.
tell us, you have been a teacher. Tell us about that, and then
That was
lead into how in the heck you got here.
That's a journey. Being a teacher, I moved down here with my family from Rhode Island, and it seemed like a really great thing to do.
Teaching.
Teaching, yes.
What exactly are you doing in Rhode Island?
In Rhode Island, I was a mental health client manager.
Oh, so they're not altogether different.
No, absolutely not.
I was
Right.
going to say, and then you transferred right into teaching.
Right.
So you had a lot of skills and tools from that you could use.
I had the behavior side down pat, but I did not have the facilitation of education down pat. So that took me a while.
Okay.
But as far as behavior in the classroom, spot on.
What did you teach?
I taught elementary, but then I became a peer evaluator. Don't hurt me. And an instructional mentor for new teachers.
So when you teach elementary, we might want to talk about Mrs. Bishop again.
Oh, of
Or
course,
Miss
yeah.
Bishop.
The biggest crush ever.
Yes.
his first crush in his lifetime.
She was a auburn-haired, little
Vixen.
barrette parted on the side, her little hair over at second grade, Miss Bishop.
Okay.
Yeah. We spent a good third of one episode on Mrs. Bishop. Yeah.
Yes.
Wow, what an influence she had on you.
Oh, I don't know that she had any influence on my education.
Right. We know what she had influence
Right.
on.
Okay.
So, anywho.
When you teach elementary, do you teach all subjects?
Yes.
So the kids stay in the classroom still, the same
Yes.
classroom, and you're teaching all subjects?
Yes,
Okay.
I did at the time, but now there are different segmented classrooms, say math, science.
Even as kids? Mm-hmm. Oh, really? Huh. So I wouldn't have been with Miss Bishop all day.
Oh.
Well, that would have been disappointing
Bullet dodged. Yeah. Wow.
for Miss Bishop.
Very well. That's good point.
So, what brought you to. Oh, wait, back up.
Yep.
So, you moved into training new teachers. Okay, explain that to me. When your new teacher is.
So when you're a new teacher coming right out of college, there's just a lot of pieces. They teach you theoretical, but they don't teach you
The mechanics.
the mechanics of it all, right? There's an art in science, just like there's an art in science here,
Yes.
right?
Yes.
And that is always the biggest piece. So the new teachers who are just coming out of college, they were just bright-eyed, bushy-tailed, but
Yes.
then lost within a quick 2 weeks. So that was kind of my job to step in and facilitate.
They've all watched, what's that movie with Robin Williams?
Oh, yeah.
Dead Poets Society?
Dead Poets
They've all
Society.
watched Dead Poets Society.
Yeah.
That's what they picture their education, right?
Oh, no.
It's not like that in real life?
So,
Oh, man.
a question for you. So, I've shared this before on podcasts. When I went through some counseling and coaching about career, I always came out the same thing: a teacher and a coach. Right. So I always showed up the same way. Is that something that was a part of you? Have you always had that kind of bent of I want to be involved in people's lives and helping them learn concepts and education, whatever it is? Is that how you define yourself as a teacher?
I think so. Coming from a family, my mother was a nurse, so very much in tune to helping other people and just finding that niche. I could not be around blood or anything like that, so that was just not going to happen. But it was just always something in my family. You always have to make sure you're helping others out.
Love them.
And so that was just a part.
What did your pop do?
He actually worked in a newspaper at the Middletown Press. He was a typesetter at the time.
Wow.
Yeah, so
We'll have to explain to the listener what a typesetter is.
Google it. Googler it.
Put it in the Googler.
Put it in the Googler.
right.
So who would you say was, so it was really your family that influenced you to kind of make the decision? It was where you were raised.
Do you have siblings?
I do. I have a sister.
And what does she do for a living? If she has
She currently is in insurance, so very, very different from myself. We are polar opposites from each other.
She didn't pay attention.
No,
Wow. Let's hope the sister doesn't listen to this episode because we've just passed judgment on her.
that's okay, Raquel. We still love you.
We still love you.
There's 6 years difference. She's older than I am.
So very different in the way you all saw the world and experienced the world.
Very, very
Yeah,
different.
okay,
Very
okay.
different. Different personalities, different looks. Everything is very different.
But foundational to you as a human is the idea of education.
Yes.
Okay.
And helping people.
And helping people.
Yeah. Well, I think you could make the argument that the greatest way to help another human being is to educate them.
Yes.
Of all the things you could give to another human being, it's the ability to become educated.
Well, and I'm going to save myself and also make sure that they have proper insurance.
Well, yeah.
Wait, what?
I mean, that too.
That's what her sister does.
Yeah.
It's okay.
That's fair.
Anyway.
No, the bus has already rolled over her sister. The only thing that's going to happen now is you're going to back it up.
It's all right. It's all right.
So, how have you taken your experience as a teacher to Feeding Tampa Bay? What brought you here, too?
What brought me here? Again, it's the idea of, I'm not hiding the grays. I'm, getting on there in life. And I wanted my last let's say, phases of life to be in something very, very helpful. For the past 4 years, I was in a very for-profit type of role, and I wanted to change that. It didn't feel right to me. So that's why this opportunity came about, and I jumped on it as quick as I could.
So what about, aside from working with me, which we understand is an
course.
attraction
That's
for
the
everybody
whole
here.
reason.
You met him and like.
That was so. Kidding aside, what about this kind of opportunity in the nonprofit world spoke to you, and particularly about feeding Tampa Bay and the role? What did you find? I always think when you're looking at a new job, you kind of go through that fantasy part of this is what it would be like. This is how I would be in it. Right? You kind of have that visioning. Right? How did that work for you? What was that like for you when you saw this job and you started thinking about it?
I saw it as an opportunity again to climb into that helpful aspect and working with adults, which I really, really love to do, and just not being transcriptive. So what I try to do is bring to my classes, and Ev, you are in one of them, is to really teach, but not in the traditional manner, like facilitating.
How would you describe that, right? How would you describe what's traditional versus your role?
Traditional is lecture, give it to everybody, give the answers, and that's not
you don't do that.
all what I do.
Oh, I'm interested in that.
It's exploring, right? It's exploring learning and what it means to you, what you can get out of the learning. That's the most important thing. I have a goal, but I'm gonna get you there.
Yeah.
I want to come back and ask in a few moments some of your views about the educational system.
Oh boy.
But so I think I want folks to understand what's important about the context of hiring an educator here was a very different approach to our work, right? So when we looked at where we were not meeting the expectations we had as an organization, one of the issues we came back to over and over again was we need to do a better job of educating, right? That not everybody, even that works here, has access to information, skills, techniques, tactics, things to improve as a colleague. So for us, this was a very big change in the way we were approaching. We normally put all of what you do on managers to say, you teach this. Our approach was let's hire a professional educator and have the professional educator educate. So how has that worked for you? What is your experience of doing that? You've been with us how long now?
Since April.
All right. What's your experience thus far? How has that been from a application of idea to reality? Is it working? Is it something that's helpful? What's your view of all of it?
I view it as being helpful. That's my hope.
I can vouch.
We're going to talk to some of your students after
Good,
this.
please do. Please do. I think it's a switch in mindset. I think coming on and bringing the idea of education forward is definitely a switch in mindset. But it's opened up an avenue of people being really thoughtful and bringing in psychological safety, which is very important to me. Like these four walls are these four walls, right? And to be able to talk about things that might be on the top of their heads and really just problem solve as a group. Because a lot of us, I'm not an expert. There's a lot of us that are experts in very, very different manners. So just coming together as a group instead of a one-on-one session, I think is very powerful. And one of the biggest pieces of feedback is being able to talk with others I don't normally talk to. Because we're bringing in a group that is not all from the same, titling or whatever we want to call it.
So your experience so far, we've had some conversations offline about this. Your experience so far, have you appreciated or have we been able to tap into an opportunity with our colleagues that kind of our theory was if we make this available, right, if we think differently about how to do this, and as I said, take it off the job of the manager, have you found that our colleagues here are enjoying this opportunity and what do you think is resonating with them? And you might want to weigh in here.
I was going to say,
I was going to say,
Go ahead, Ev.
Yeah. I mean,
Mr. Malcolm.
I think in addition to Nicole's teaching style being very heartful, it's not just it's not tests and scores. I think that the content we've been working on is also very overlooked. We're not talking about top 10 manager methods to get efficiency. It's emotional intelligence. It's all right, can you connect with people? Can you understand yourself and how you're feeling and what you do about that? And I think that's all probably overlooked in an office setting, So, but it's relational.
How have you decided what your curriculum is?
emotional intelligence to me is a foundation.
Okay, so you start there.
That's where I start. Just like I think about a classroom setting, you're not going to be able to teach unless you have the behaviors, quote unquote, down, unless people feel safe in an environment where they can make a mistake or bring a point of view and not feel like someone's going to be critical with them. That's the place.
So you're not rapping knuckles in the class either.
No.
You're building trust,
Building
which is
trust is everything.
important.
Right.
Yes, it's
and
everything.
now we're going to get into some really critical pieces.
Well, do tell what's next.
Fierce conversation.
Fierce conversations. Is that a curriculum you're developing or a concept you're teaching?
It's a little bit of me developing and a little bit of the concepts that are already there.
Right. So I want to come back to one of the things you talked about, which is I think important for folks to understand from our perspective is you made a career change.
Yes.
And one of the reasons why I was going to ask about the educational system is my sense of that system is still that there is a book, there are standardized tests, and then we have to make sure that everything is prescriptive of that, right?
Sure.
You're now in an environment where you're the teacher, the principal, right? You're all
The
of that.
all.
This is your right. This is your class now. It's your school that you're building.
Yes.
How is that to you today? How do you think about that? Because you can hide behind someone else's curriculum,
All day long.
right? The good news is that this is yours. The bad news is this is yours.
Yes.
How are you thinking about that?
Ooh, that's a heavy one. I was
Again, we're not amateurs here.
no, I was trained to be your
Although
principal.
some people that aren't on time are less professional than others.
Right.
Just don't let him do that.
I'm used to it.
Right.
I'll be very honest. It can be daunting,
Yeah.
a little bit scary,
Yeah.
because what I have in my brain and how it comes across to others, I want to make sure that it's still relatable. One of the things that I do after every single session is make sure I ask for feedback.
Yeah.
And I get the feedback and I love it because there's some things that I need to change along the way, and I have. And then there's other times where everyone's like, it's good, let's keep doing this. All right, so we'll do this. But without feedback, how can anybody plan? Right? So
Well, let me ask you again a question. This is probably a general question, but it's more about you. Do you think people are more afraid of their dreams or of their fears?
fear.
Oh, I think they're dreams.
I
I think people are far more afraid of success than they are failure.
That hasn't been your experience.
Yeah, mine has always been failure.
Well, I think so.
Afraid they live in the realm of I'm going to fail.
But it's also you're afraid that you're not going to reach your dreams.
Right. So
Right.
folks that have we did an exercise one time with the leadership group. Are you more excited? Are you driven by success or are you afraid of failure? I am totally driven by fear of failure. That is 100% my motivation. Right. That still drives me today, 40 years into my career and in my life. So in that context, right. But it's often interesting when people have a chance to move into their dreams and we say here. That's where it really, because people are used to failure.
Yep.
They're not as used to success.
That's
and
right.
success is scary. Right? If I had ever thought about where we are today versus where we were when I got here, it would have scared the living crap out of me. I almost said right?
And then he did.
And then you did.
But the interesting thing about you coming here that I've been wondering about is you have a chance to live into your dreams. Right? But that's also true with the two of you.
Definitely.
Oh,
If
I
we're
think
doing
so.
what we do well,
Right.
But I would observe some people here are afraid to move move into their dreams. Right? It's scarier for someone to say, hey, this is yours, go do.
Right.
And I think for you, the question will be, as you said in the last act of your 3-act play,
Right.
this is where you get, the good news is it's yours and the bad news is it's yours.
It's true. It's true.
Well, I also think for here, we're talking about feeding Tampa Bay, right? I think that we have a culture that also, first of all, you being here is a game changer, but we're also approached in such a way to have confidence in those challenges. We're asked, are you ready to take this on? Are you ready to grow? Are you ready? And I don't think every culture is like that. Just like we have our own educator, for management and teaching us things. Most business cultures don't have that. And I'm an old lady and I've been in a number of them. So it's, I think it's a brave approach to be that open and trustworthy, and to also invest in having our own educator that can help create something amazing.
We're lucky to have you.
We're lucky to have you.
I'm so lucky to be here.
So
lucky to be
we're
here.
wrapping up. I have one last question for you. What has been your greatest learning so far?
Boy. There are so many things I had no clue when I walked in this door that Feeding Tampa Bay does. And I'm going to look at it from an aspect of that. And just the dynamics of the neighborhood and transportation and the warehouse and all of these different people coming together in all walks of life, all aspects of life, to come and drive the mission and vision. It's absolutely incredible, honestly. And I had no clue.
And it changes every day.
Every
day is a new day.
Every single day. And
which
that's
I love.
what I love too. You
Yep.
never know what's going to happen next.
Thank you, friend.
Thank you.
All right, episode 1 of this year's Heroes of Feeding Tampa Bay down.
In the books.
In the books.
That was so fun.
It always is. Yeah, it really is fun to hear from everybody. I think we always talk about like the things we take away from the episodes and what we learned, but I think like we want to hear from everybody first.
Yeah.
You know, and like really have some time to marinate.
Exactly. But you did get your first taste of it, and you know what? You know, you don't even have to hear the next one to know how fabulous the people are under this roof that work for this organization. So, thoughts, Thomas?
Stay tuned.
Yeah. I'll be back in 2 weeks with another episode and more colleagues and more fun and more learning. We'll see you there.